Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more Zero Hour, and welcome back to a little chat slash rant on the bugs and stuff going on in Zero Hour at the moment. So I know there's been a few discussions up for debate, and like just yesterday, if we have a look on Chrome here where I've opened this window, we had Boyka against Size yesterday, and we had a few bugs and issues come up during the set, and it prompted a little bit of a discussion and a little bit of thought from me as well. And I thought I'd put across my viewpoint, and then you can let me know in the comments whether you've got anything to add or whether you've got any ideas on how to solve the issues in the future in Zero Hour. So the first point I want to get across is actually, so back in the beginning of when was it? April 2020. Back in the beginning of 2020. So lockdown began for a lot of people. Obviously the pandemic hit, and lockdown began. People are out of work. People are temporarily not working and stuff like that. And therefore, more people were going to be playing games. So I said right at the beginning, actually, that whilst coronavirus is going to be bad for the world and bad for people's health and all that kind of stuff, it'll actually be pretty good for Zero Hour because more people will be trapped at home playing games and stuff like that. And lo and behold, it was. It's actually 2020 was probably the most competitive Zero Hour has been for a while. There's more money in it than ever. And 2021 is shaping up to be exactly like that too. So that prediction was right. So whilst the players down here were on this axis, is that the x-axis? I think it is the x-axis. Tested my school knowledge when they taught me X and Y. So the number of players has increased, and therefore what's going to happen as a result of that, when you're throwing money into things and when you're having more tournaments and more competitive play and more players all around and more activity, you're going to naturally find more bugs in an 18-year-old game. So obviously, if you've got a bigger sample size of people testing stuff and people playing, you're obviously going to find more bugs. And also when there's money thrown in the mix as well for like tournaments, and if you win clan wars and stuff like that, then when you actually come top, you win money. Of course, you're going to try and use every advantage you can to try and get up the list. Or maybe not everyone, but some people will. So yeah, that's just the first thing I wanted to get across. I think there's a direct correlation. Maybe it would look more something like and if it would be more of a curve. Would it be more of a curve? I don't know, but basically that is something like that it would be. So the next thing I want to show you, so obviously we had the Boyka and Size set yesterday. Now there was a number of bugs and issues that came up during that one set, even just a few hours. There was a number of things happening. So you'll see here on the screenshot, this is basically one bug that happened. Big Size laser locked little Boyka's dozer here through the, well, because basically there's a little tiny gap here, a little bug. You can actually, the computer thinks that you're actually laser locked onto the dozer, and it's trying to hit the dozer, but as a result, it's actually hitting the building. It happened a few times. I think Boyka made a mistake by putting the dozer back there, but regardless, the Boyka then complained saying it's a bug abuse and whatever. I think he was joking a little bit, or half joking, but he basically started then having a go at Size for basically abusing, I say in inverted commas, abusing a bug. And yeah, that building went down through the laser lock thing. It probably otherwise wouldn't have gone down, but this building, if we just play it, actually it does get laser locked here. You see the HP of it going down, and the building goes down, and then from that point the game's basically over. You can't lose an airfield at 220 in the game and expect to come back when Size is already on an airfield. So then Boyka does go on to lose that game. So that's just one of few bugs that is being used. I'm just going to close that one. Here is another one in the same set. So did you see what happened there? So basically Boyka sent his first worker. So he has changed his build order. He sent his first worker, so that means his arms dealer is going to be delayed, his barracks is going to be delayed. He sent his first worker over here to collect the crates, just like Big Size did in the previous game. But the difference is that Size here actually places the scaffolds down to clear it. Now this is nothing against Size. It's not a hating Size video at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite, because Size is a super fair player. If he knew this was against the rules, which apparently it is against the rules, but I'm struggling to find it in the on the forums on the fair play rules, whether it needs to be written probably clearer. If you do a Control and F for scaffold abuse or something like that, it probably should come up. And apparently this is not allowed, but I couldn't see it, and obviously Size didn't know. So this does change the game a bit, because it deletes about $800 or $600 worth of crates. Boyka ends up only no, he only gets one. So it actually deletes $800 and he only gets $200. At the start of the game, an $800 boost there is kind of massive. Boyka does then go on to lose this game. Would that have changed it? I think an $800 difference there could have made the difference. And I also think mentally as well, it probably annoyed Boyka a little bit as well. And was he thrown off his game thinking, hang on a minute, that's not fair? A few people in the chat were saying Boyka, if he was not happy with that, should have typed it at the time and asked for a rematch or something like that. But the thing is, when you're actually playing in a game, who's to say, like, if you then quit or you start typing and just like throw in the towel, who's to say that then you won't be given a loss? Obviously, I was the ref here. I'd obviously be fair to both players and ask for probably a rematch. But yeah, if it's a tournament setting or whatever, you don't know what the ref is going to do. Why should you then have to like stop microing your workers and building an arms dealer to then have to type and say, oh, hang on a minute, this is not fair? And also the ref, which is basically me in this case, was not able to intervene and actually talk during the game. You can't pause the match and chat with the players because you're an observer. You can't actually communicate with the players. So that's why Boyka didn't say anything about it at the time. But did it change the game here? I did change the game. Would it have got him the win though is the question. I don't really know. But either way, just showing you another thing happening in 0 Hour at the moment. Again, this is nothing against size. This is a very, is it rare? I mean, Irish Front's quite a popular map now, up and coming popular map. So I mean, it's rare to see this situation, but it's just another one thing used in another competitive set. So it definitely needs a discussion and definitely needs a rule in there. I'd just get rid of it, to be honest. You shouldn't be able to delete any crates. But the same discussion goes up for if you've got a drop zone as well. So let's say you're USA and there's a drop zone comes in with a plane, and your drop zone dies before the plane drops off its stuff, but the plane drops off all its stuff. Should you be able to delete those crates as well? Now, scrap deny is allowed, but should you be able to delete your own crates and stop the enemy from getting that? That's another point that needs discussion. It definitely needs to add into the rules because it will come up one day. And some people on the forums, I'm going to name and shame this guy. It's the only guy I'm going to name on the forums, which is Lakeys. This is Boyka's brother. And whilst I like Boyka and Boyka's cool, Lakeys is quite an idiot. And his point is... His point, all these things here are non-issues. Then no issues. We're creating drama out of nothing. And he says just don't do it and just play fair. That doesn't need to add into the rules. Well, my argument back to him is basically, we're not looking for issues, and we're not trying to cause issues. This is like a genuine set where there's money on the line. There's $50 on the line. This happened literally yesterday between Boyka and Size, and yeah, there's money on the line, and it's a bit like telling the population, oh, why do we need to have a law about murder? Let's not have a law about murder. Just don't do it, guys. Why are you trying to look for loopholes and try murdering people? It's just ridiculous. You need to just add a rule in just to say don't delete crates. It's literally that simple. But people like Lakeys is basically saying, oh yeah, why do we need to have a rule about that? Just let's just not do it. But then it comes up and it's not clear in the rules. Nobody's sure what's going on. What happens if that happens in the grand final? What's the drama going to be? Simple fix is just to add a line in it. But yeah, some people obviously struggling to understand that. This is Boyka against Size again yesterday. This is an allowed bug. You could call it a bug. And it's basically, so you see this dozer here. It's actually building a fire base. Now, this happens every day on all pro games and all tournaments. And basically, this dozer is building, completely protected by the box. It's building this fire base here. Now, if GLA comes in with a Terratech or a Tech RPG, there's no way it can kill that dozer and stop it from building that fire base. Sure, you can hit the fire base. So some people's argument in terms of bug abuse is it counterable? Well, anything in 0 Hour is really counterable, whether you're building that fire base there. Well, what's it countered by? What's countered by 5 terrorists detonate these 2 buildings and then go in and kill the dozer. And if anything is counterable technically, so that argument is completely stupid. Is it counterable? Anything is counterable. So yeah, this dozer building the firebase there. I mean, it's you could call it a bug. Is it supposed to happen? Would it be in the game if they remastered the game? Maybe, maybe not. I'm just showing you one of the few, or one of the many things actually that are being used in 0 Hour. So I mean, I play a hell of a lot. I play pretty much 0 Hour every single day, and I see these things happening all the time. And usually, I'm not an advocate for. Well, I'm not a user of all these bugs. I mean, there's this firebase thing. Yes, I will do that. I mean, there's other ones, but typically, I've always been quite lazy in terms of learning new stuff and learning how bugs work and stuff like that, and trying to use them to your advantage. But when you see it happening every single day, and it also happens to you, and you get penalized for it. So, for example, let's go over to Clan Wars. Then you start to think, hang on a minute, maybe I'm missing a trick. Maybe there's something I need to be doing as well. So, I'll show you a game where that changed my mindset in a little while. This is Clan Wars. This is where all the pros play 1v1, 2v2s, all the pro team games. You've got all the clans here. You've got all the players here. Now, I'll tell you some foul play that's going on in here. Well, for example, there is a range of things going on in here. So there's not that this is in any way related, but there's a player called Yami Yami who was playing Clan Wars for a while. He was map hacking on Clan Wars. This was for like probably a period of 3 months, and then when he got banned, he then DDoSed, which basically took down illegal activity, took down the website for like 5 days. Like, that's the extreme. I'm not even comparing that to bugs, but I just wanted to tell you about that guy first, because that leads me on to my next point, which is where you've got this guy called HSN Leb. He's down the list. He's like rank 17 or something like that. You'll have seen I've played him a while ago, so you'll see here I'm playing him. This is the same guy. So he basically, a few months ago when there was money on the line, he basically played versus Yami, the map hacking DDoSer guy. He played apparently 90 games, 90 wins and 90 losses. So a 90-90 perfect 50% win-loss record against Yami, whilst Yami was map hacking as well, I think. So, well, apparently. And when asked for the games, asked to be presented with the games, or all 188 games, or like the replays, or any proof that he played some of the games, he provided like probably like 10 replays or something like that, and didn't and couldn't provide proof that he played the other 90 games. So basically this is a thing called point pushing, when either you did or you didn't play the games. Most of the people think that actually HSN did not play the games because he couldn't provide any proof that they happened, and he's been involved in kind of issues with Clan Wars again in the past before. This is just facts, by the way. This is not just a hate on HSN, because HSN seems to have changed his attitude lately. He's actually mostly being quite positive, and he's actually playing versus some good players now. But in this instance, I'm just telling you, he played apparently 90 games, 90 wins. Sorry, 90 wins, 90 losses versus Yami. Couldn't provide the backup that he played him. He is friends with him. Did he play those games or not? And what is the benefit for him? Well, he got an extra 90 games worth of points, which probably, to be honest, well, I mean, it's half of Shay's record there. 90 wins would be half of Shay's record. So it could get you to the top of the rankings and could get you to win some money. So that's called point pushing. That's one thing that has been going on. There is a rule now to say if at any time you are requested, you need to provide screenshots and replays of the games you played. But in that one instance, I mean, I'm willing to bet big money that HSN actually cheated that particular month. There's another bug in Clan Wars where you can call it a bug or not, but it's people are abusing it. So one of the players that comes to mind, I don't really want to name and shame too many people in this video, but I'm gonna do, because Scuba is an absolute idiot. Scuba is a player at the moment trying to take the moral high ground, trying to say that people are using bugs, and he's not one of them. Well, he's been abusing Clan Wars for a very long time. Unfortunately, don't have proof of it here. I probably could prove it if I went through the battle logs or something like that, but basically what he will do is, let's say you play 10 games against him and you go 5-5 record against him. Let's say you have 5 wins and you have 5 losses. Again, like a perfect HSN Lev record. Then what's actually happening there is the first 5 games that are reported are worth more points. So you see here, you like the battle. To get the top of the rankings, you have to get points. So the first 5 games that you report, so you report a loss by playing here, they are worth more points, and the last 5 that are reported, they are worth less points. So the longer you play, you get diminishing returns. If I play one game now against this guy called Dark, which is Herb, by the way, and I play one game, let's say I get 100 points, the next game we play between each other might be worth 90 points. So there is a benefit in reporting your games later. So let's say you went 5-5 against Dark, for example, and he reports all of his losses straight away, so it looks like a 5-0 record in terms of where this is here. Then those first 5 games are worth more points. You'll get loads of points. And then when you report your 5 later, so I think you've got a 2-hour window is the supposed rule, but whether that's kept to or not, I don't know. But basically, you report your 5 games later, and the enemy's going to get less points, and you're going to lose less points as well. That's another bit of foul play going on in Clan Wars. So already you can see this is a massing up. Everybody is using all kinds of little glitches and tricks and stuff like that. And Scuba's been doing this for many years, by the way. So okay, another trick that's been going on in Clan Wars, one of the top clans here, I won't name any names, but basically a few months ago, I mean, multiple clans might have been doing this, I can just think of one. So I was wondering like how clans are getting so many points towards the end of the month. It was basically, unless you played 24/7, it's basically impossible to win Clan Wars, because some people are just getting crazy amount of points. And one of the things they were doing was basically, you might be a top player here, you might be number 1 or whatever, so you might be like number 5, and you might need to gain a few extra points. What you will do is then invite someone into your clan who is a really low rank. So you might invite someone who's not even ranked. They might be way down here where my mouse cursor is. They might be like rank 1000 or something like that. You invite them to your clan, and then you play against one of these top 10 clans, one of the weaker clans, and you win. with that rank 200 player. That rank 200 player might be good, it might be bad, it might just never played Clan Wars that month, so you might be unranked or whatever. But then you win with that person invited, and then you get a load more points because you've played with a lower ranked player in your team, and you get a load more points that way. Little trick and a little glitch that people are using. I mean, I think there's a rule against that now, but I'm just telling you, in the last 3 months that has been used for a fact. Shay at the top here. So whilst I like to take some credit for it, I actually didn't come up with it, which was basically the fire-based blocking trick. So you can use a scaffold, like a barrack scaffold or whatever, to place in front of a fire base, and it prevents it from shooting in that direction. Shay was the first person to ever use that against me. He actually used it on a laser turret on Tournament Desert. I was streaming at the time. Sadly, I can't find the stream. It will be probably a year ago or maybe longer ago. So Shay actually invented that. He used the China barracks to block my laser turret. Was it a laser turret? I can't remember if it was laser turret or EMP or something, but he blocked, I think it was a laser turret. And then he started doing it later on again against them, blocking the fire bases and stuff like that. That was a little bug that was basically let gats in my base. I think he even won that game. But yeah, a nice little gimmick and a nice little trick there from Shay. Immediately after that, I started to think, how can I counter this? Like, if he's putting scaffolds in front of my fire bases and stuff like that, I mean, if we use some of the mindset of some of the people, is it counterable? Yes, it is. You put a ranger or a missile defender by your defense, and as soon as he places the scaffold, you shoot it. You could even put it on guard mode, and as soon as he places it, he shoots it. So is it counterable? Yes. So is it allowed? Well, it's not allowed, so that counterable argument doesn't work at all. Okay, so I'm going to show you this one. Sorry to Xgal for naming and shaming here, but I had to show you this because this was the day of a turning point for me. So all of this stuff going on in terms of Clan Wars, all of the stuff that you see going on, these little gimmicks and stuff like that. I mean, there's even a trick where you can use guard mode with Humvees without the tow missiles to shoot air units. There's all kind of crazy stuff that's happened to me in the past, and this point here was really important. So the score is 5-2. It's a semi-final. I think there's money on the line, and I was winning this game. So in this game is JLA Mirror. We're on Wasteland Warlords, I think is the map. I can't remember if that's the exact map name. I have 2 supplies. I've got this supply here. I've also got, I thought I clicked then. I've also got a supply down here in the bottom right. And I've got 2 oil lead as well. So XL needs to cause the damage here right now. I've dropped down some demo traps and I'm just trying to hold the line. You see, I've got loads of tunnels down, got as many quads and tunnels and RPGs now, and I'm successfully holding here. You can see I've got the numbers advantage. And I mean, so what's going to happen is these demo traps here are mine. XL can't see them, but he's probably beaconed them, because what he does in a second, he actually places a demo trap scaffold. If we watch very close, you see that? Some text just appeared for a very brief second. You might need to pause the video. But can I find it again? Let's see. It happens very, very quick. Okay, so I clicked past it again then, but you did see it very, very quick. It showed a it's a scaffold. So basically he's placed the demo trap scaffold next to my demo trap, and it's actually detonated my own scaffold, my own demo trap. So was this against the rules at the time? Yes, it was. Is this anything against XL? No, not really, because I still gave him the win for this. I still let him win this, even though, well, basically what happens is I was holding the line there. It was all fine. That demo trap thing changed the game, because now I haven't got the numbers. I lost like 2 or 3 quads, a few RPGs. And then from this point, I then lose the game and I lose the tournament. There's me scrap denying, which is another bug that is actually allowed in the game. So yeah, I then lose this. But from this point, this was a changing point. I didn't realize it was actually October 2020. But from this point, like with all this stuff going in Clan Wars, I then thought, you know what? I'm not sitting back being lazy anymore. I'm going to learn some of these bugs. I'm going to start using these things in retaliation. So whilst this one actually was covered in the rules, so the demo trap abuse was not allowed to be used here. XL didn't know that, and that's fine. He's not purposely abusing it or whatever. So it's only happened this one time. And yeah, but from this point, I had a choice. I could either go on the forums and complain about it, report him for cheating, say I want a rematch and all that lot. I didn't. I think I ended up getting the win for this one game, but I still let XGal go through to the next round and let him play the final. I mean, I didn't like kick up a massive fuss about it like some people are doing. So basically, yeah, that was a turning point for me. I thought, you know what? People are abusing Clan Wars. They're abusing the Clan Wars system. They're using bugs against me here in tournaments. there's all kind of things going on. Okay, so if you can't, what's the saying? I don't know what the saying is, but fight fire with fire is basically the the motto I went by. So yeah, the only bug that I really use is this one, basically here where I played HSN. So he's saying no bugs here. So basically what I did here was place a tunnel. Basically place a tunnel in a way that he won't be able to crush it. So you see here, I'm actually placing a tunnel over the worker so he won't be able to crush it. And then this is not against the rules, by the way. This is within the rules, just like the Clan Wars abuse stuff was inside the rules, and just like many other things were inside the rules at the time. So basically here he says no bugs and he demands a rematch, and now this bug is banned. So, I mean, I don't know quite what the moral of the story is, but basically I think there's three kinds, maybe two kinds of people. There is people that just see something they don't like and then instantly report it and instantly go crazy. And then there is people, I suppose you could kind of say like me, that like fight fire with fire rather than crying like a baby about it. Like this guy here, even though it was within the rules what I did at the time, he says no bugs and he instantly quits. We do a rematch and I completely wreck him in the rematch, by the way. Didn't stream that, but I did wreck him. Just saying. Or there's people like me that say, okay, people are abusing bugs and stuff like that. If you can't put out the fire, fight fire with fire. So basically that's what I've been doing. I mean, pretty much the tunnel abuse thing is the only thing that I have actually been using. Whether it's the right thing to do or not is probably it probably isn't the right thing to do. But when you've got idiots like Lakeys on the forums saying, oh no, we're not going to add this to the rules, not going to add this, just don't murder anyone, we don't need to write this into law. That's basically what he's saying. Then maybe you have no choice. So yeah, just basically it all comes back to this graph that I drew before. Nice little pretty graph. When you have more players, you're going to naturally find more bugs. It's an 18-year-old game, and yeah, I don't know fully what the answer is. I think you ban a load of stuff, but also things like scrap deny and loads of other things are actually allowed. There is one other bug, by the way. So when you've got a perfectly boxed GLA supply like that, a lot of pro players, what they're actually doing is sending a dozer all the way around the map, and then you just literally, you don't have to do anything tricky or anything funny. You just get a hold of your dozer and you just click inside of the box and your dozer will drive through the enemy supply and will get in there and crush all the workers. That's an allowed bug and it's been used for many years. There's also a bug which you could call basically map hack, which is basically when you have a let's say you have an arms dealer and you want to do a rally point scout. So you're basically clicking under the fog. I think I even have a video of it actually. DoMiNaToR 0 hour waypoint scout. So this is, pros are using this every single day. What is waypoint scouting? So I mean, if you want to watch this video, I recommend you check it out. So basically what I'm trying to do here, I've got hold of this China CC and I'm trying to place a waypoint here. So you see it saying unable to set rally point. It basically means there's a building there. So I'm trying to click it and there's a build, and I know there's a building there. So you see, as soon as it starts to say unable, so you can place it there, but as soon as it starts to say unable, you know there's a building there. So it's basically a form of map hack. And every single pro player is using this every single day on all kinds of Clan Wars games and all kinds of tournaments. Should you be able to do that? Would it be in the game? Is it counterable? Is it counterable? Yeah, I'll let you be the judge of that. So, yeah, that's my little rant over. I just wanted to get my viewpoint across. I don't know fully what the answer is. I think it needs probably a definitive list of what things are allowed and what things aren't allowed. And people like the Keys who just say, oh, just don't do this. Why are you trying to look for loopholes? Clearly, well, the Keys doesn't play in any pro games or any tournaments or any kind of competitive scene. So he doesn't really have an idea of like what it's like to be affected by some of these things. So, yeah, let me know what your thoughts are anyway. Hopefully we can resolve this and get it past us. Everybody can just play fair, because there will be some people in the comments that say, oh, why can't you just play fair? Well, yeah, it's easy to say that as just a viewer who's just sitting on the sidelines, but when there's actually money to be won, so there's like $200 to be won for Clan Wars, I can understand why people are using little tricks and stuff like that. The thing about HSN playing 90 games with 90 wins and 90 losses, whether that's that's just outright cheating, really, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know. That's just a quick update on all the stuff going on Zero at the moment. Let me know your comments. And let me know if you enjoyed this discussion by hitting the like on the video. And GG, and see you in the next one.